Good morning all. It is Sunday, it is tournament day, and we're looking forward to it. So this week we are trying something new by bringing something old. We are taking Math Mech back to locals, and honestly, I can't put into words how excited I am to be bringing this deck back. It's one of my favourites, it's the only deck I've ever came first place with, so my god, we're going to have some fun with it. That being said, Power Creepers a thing. I've got the new backup existers in the deck, so as long as we can take a game, I'm more than happy with that, just to get something from the scoreboard. But I'm not expecting too much, because like I said, Power Creepers a thing, and I want to go into this week managing expectations of what we can do in this current day, in this format. That being said, so first,
Round 1 we got the buy, so let's take a look at the deck. I did change up the Dark Fluid for Neo Terahertz in the end, but until we get more Ignister cards, this list looks pretty solid to me, and about as good as we could do with the cards available. Now obviously if anybody watching this has any suggestions on what to change, then please do let us know, as we're always looking to improve. In round 2 I won the dice roll and opened okay, both normal summons in the hand but lots of possibilities. We go ahead and summon the Fireball Defensor and link it off into the Lingarebo, using its effect to bring out the Guardian from deck. From there we activate the backup in hand to summon itself and search Wizard, discarding the Diameter Resolution, and then we link off into Splash Mage. The Guardian does bring itself back, and we did already previously negate that inburn using the Lingarebo. We attempt to use Splash Mage effect here to bring back, however a Dominus card is activated, so that does get rid of the Splash Mage. We then activate Wizard to spec itself and the backup. Then we overlay into the Aberration, using its effect to search for Magnetic Circular, and then Circular is then activated, sending Signet Grave, which is then brought back. And this triggers the Circular's effect to search for Super Factorial. Next we go into the Saber Dragon using a level 4 and the level 3 backup. And that of course adds a monster from the grave or banishment back to our hand, so we do add the backup at Ignister back to handing once again using the Saber. Next up, from here we do link into the Cyberse Wicked, which triggers the Saber Dragon to add an AI spell, and that is activated to special summon the backup from hand and search for a non-dark Cyberse, in this case being Addition. We then go into the transcode, which then brings back the Splash Mage, as you will see in just a moment. There we go. This brings back the Splash Mage, and then we go into Heat Soul. We pay 1,000 life points and we draw a card. We then summon the Addition and put everything into the field into the Alliance Kotoka, which then brings back 3 monsters with 2300 attack, in this case being Transcode, Heat Soul and Saber. I set the Infirm, I set Super Factorial, and I pass. Okay, so from there I was able to negate the push that Matt tried between the Super Factorial, the Allied Kotoka and the Imperm. I just had too much for what he could push through with the 4 cards he had in hand. So he did scoop it up to save on time and took us to game 2. I would like to say here though, as always, such a great time playing against Matt. It's always a really enjoyable game and I always learn something. Matt is just one of those players that just improves everyone's gameplay who he plays against. He has years of experience in this game and has such a mind for it that he can see combo lines that people normally wouldn't see. So it's always great playing against Matt, because afterwards he'll always sit down and go, maybe next time try this, or try this card instead, and always give you ways to improve your game and your deck. And I really appreciate that. Matt is such a good and quite a fundamental part or pillar of our little community over at Geek Retreat, and I'm really thankful I got to play against him once again. But with that being said, here's game 2 of our match against Matt. So Matt did go first and proceeded to do Malice things. Admittedly, I still need to learn this deck and what all the cards are actually called, along with their effects, so I can give you much better gameplay. But just know he banishes a monster, he specs it back by paying some life points, he has a set trap card already, he's searching, he sets another card. We do have a couple of hand traps. He is under obviously the Muchami here, and we do action effect that with allowing to when the monster spec back to draw 2, just because I felt like that's where I'll get the most out of my ash. Now Matt does consider just passing here because he does have a trap which will allow him to link on our turn, but he does ultimately decide to link once, giving us a single draw, and he passes sets a card and then passes to us from there. Now we start off with the AI Connect, revealing our Firewall Defensor, which will special summon it and then add a non-dark Firewall, a non-dark Cyberse, level 4 lower. So we do go ahead here, after Matt does his bits, and we spec the Defensor and add Circular. From here now, Matt's doing a few other little bits. Our plan here is to link off the Defensor, but he activates the Malice Quick Play spell, which just banished my Defensor, so cool. But we activate the Circular here, send in the Sigma to Grave for cost, and then we do attempt to summon back the Sigma from Grave. This goes through and this triggers the Circular search effect. So again, once again, we grab that Super Factorial just because it is great for the following turn. Now Matt activates a trap here which adds or banishes a Malice, but I'm not entirely sure what the trap does exactly because I'm losing kind of what happens, because something got banished, something got added, a field spell comes down, and all I know is on resolution of all of this, my Mathematic Circular got banished as well. Thankfully we do have the addition in hand so we can keep going. We do summon that and we extend by overlaying into the Albertian, which on summon detaches both materials to search for the Mathematic card. We search Diameter, which summons and brings back the addition, and we link one to negate any further traps. We then summon the backup from our hand, which does search for Wizard, and then we do discard the Nibiru, deciding that that's just not going to come into play. We then go into the Saber Dragon, which then triggers to add back the Circular from banishment, and we activate Wizard from hand to special summon itself and backup, and then we go into Splash Mage. From there we do attempt to activate Splash Mage to resurrect one, and then we go into the transcode, and then their transcode brings back Splash and go into the Heat Soul once again. We do pay the 1000 life points, we draw a card, and then once again we do go into the we go into the access code here, we banish the pop, he brings back a red ransom, and a monster in defense mode, so we do banish another card here, pop the red ransom, send that to Grave, and then instead of banishing the transcode, I decided to keep it for follow-up because we do play G Golem and that could come in handy. So we decide, because we activate Circular, we can only punch for one monster anyway, so we do just attack with the singular monster and clear his field from there. So on Matt's turn, he attempts to draw a card, and we attempt to draw a card, and we are met with the Gamma. Now, it's funny because we were talking about the Gamma earlier that day, and how no one's playing it, and Matt laughed when he drew it, and went, I am. From there though, he does link into that Link Spider. We go ahead, activate the Super Factorial to bring back 3, however, the Diameter is met with a Bestial, which just makes the Super Factorial fizzle out. So we are just left on a 5-3 attack body. Matt's doing his Malice things yet again. However, I realised I have Lancia in hand, and I don't know why in my mind I thought I had to have a clear field to activate Lancia from hand. Really not the case. So from there we do activate it, but a little bit too late because the Bestial's already banished and he's already banished some Malice cards. But hopefully that will be enough just to slow him down and allow us to survive the turn. He does somehow negate the access code, throwing his attack back down to 2300, so I do expect the Writing to be on the ball here. Matt, however, is really thinking about how to get the win here. He's trying to get the OTK, but he is also conscious of the time. He doesn't want to take the mickey and just decides to swing just to get some damage, and then goes into the allied on his in main phase 2. On our turn here, we try and do what we can to bait out that allied. So we bring back the Sigma, we attempt to activate the Circular, which does bait out the allied. We activate the AI Connect special, summoning the Fireball Guardian, add the diameter, normal summon diameter to bring back the addition. We then go into that G Golem like we discussed earlier. It's not a non-summon effect, which is great. So we go ahead, bring back the Fireball Guardian, and then the G Golem activates to bring back transcode. We then put all of them into the allied code talker. That was a bit silly on my behalf. I should have overlaid it into the light dragon that existed with the 2 other level 4 bodies first, but this is enough to take us to game. Now that game, that was a lot of fun, and surprisingly we took that 2-0. Now this does come with an asterisk though. Matt didn't want to take the piss for the time, and if he just took 2 extra minutes to think about his turn, that would have played out completely differently, and he would have taken game 2. To the point where after the match, he took that additional time, and it was literally 2 minutes, and figured out how he could have actually OTK'd me that turn. And honestly, to see how he could have got there under Lancia and whatnot was just absolutely amazing for him to figure that out. But with that being said, we did take the round, and thanks to the bye in round 1, we are going into round 3 undefeated. But Matt, thank you for the great game. It was very enjoyable. Now Owen won the dice roll, and we opened no hand traps, so we just got to sit back and watch. Owen starts off by activating wishes, discarding the blue eyes that he actually drew. He searched for Maiden and Raw, and Maiden is then activated, discarding itself from hand, so he could set the True Light directly from his deck face up onto the field. He was waiting for the Droll or the Ash or something, and I was like, no, you're good, carry on sir. So there he goes, he discards the Maiden like we said to get the True Light, and the True Light brings back that blue eyes that he'd already sent to the graveyard this turn. Now that does trigger the Maiden effect, which does spec it back, and then he goes ahead and activates Raw, not to get the another blue eyes, but to get the Jet Dragon, just to get that rotation. Now Wishes does get banished to equip the Neos to the blue eyes, but then he does go ahead and synchro off into the Spirit Dragon. He sets a singular card and passes. Now, even though his board doesn't look that great, it really is. So we go ahead and normal summon that Defensor. He activates the Wishes. I thought by cool buying it and managing it would actually not make the Wishes resolve. But it doesn't matter because he just True Lights, brings back the blue eyes anyway and reveals it from the field, and then goes ahead and gets the Maiden back. From here we attempt to activate the Sigma to bring it back from the Circular, but he gets banished by Bestial. So we are still able to get some plays going. The Circular did come down still, there's the backup, and of course the Circular did get linked off into the Trap Negate, just to negate anything further with the Pilot Exceed. But here's the Save Dragon now. Save Dragon sets as an AI spell card. That does get negated. So we are having to think here of what we could do. And from here we decide to go into the Splash Mage. We activate Splash Mage, bring back Parallel to go into Transcode. Transcode bring back Splash. And then I go into the Heat Soul. I don't know why I went into Heat Soul. I should not have gone into the Heat Soul. I definitely should have gone in everything into the Allied, because nothing is pointing to each other, so nothing's coding, so nothing's powered up, nothing's protected through targeting the gates. So all I can do there is literally just poke 2 of his monsters and draw a card, which is not great. So yeah, figure that one out. But there we go. So you know, mistakes do happen. Our end board's not as good as it should have been, and Owen had no issue at all clearing this on his turn, as you see with the Primite engine coming into play here. Another Spirit, he clears my field and just OTKs me, no issue whatsoever. Okay, so there on my turn was a prime example of what not to do. I had extenders, I had many extenders. I was able to play through the pop, I was able to play through the negate. I just didn't seize it. I just went, I don't know, I thought, oh, let's draw for an extender when I had the extenders. But lesson learned, think about your full turn, think about what you've got, and only go for the additional draws if you really need them. I could have ended on, I'm not saying I would have won game one, but I definitely could have made it much more of a challenge for Owen than what that was. But that being said, did I do better in game two? No. If anything, I actually did worse. Against Owen, for whatever reason, my brain just shut off and just went completely into misplay mode. So Owen did seize that opportunity though, took the game very swiftly in a 2-0. And Owen, I'm sorry I couldn't have put up more of a challenge for you. Next time, hopefully, my brain will work and we can actually have a fun and inactive game rather than you just kicking my ass. Although I bet that was pretty fun for you. But thank you for still making that experience enjoyable as always. So, we are now 2-1 moving into the last round. And something strange has happened here. Due to other results previously ending in ties, only 2 people moving into round 4 out of the 11 of us playing were on a record of 2 wins and 1 loss. That of course was myself and our round 2 opponent Matt. So we got to run it back, we got to play again, and Matt saw an opportunity for revenge. So we are moving into round 4, playing against our round 2 opponent Matt. So here's some of that footage. I won the dice roll, and we start off with the Signet Mining, pitching Signet Mining, and that does go ahead and get ashed. So we follow up by hard normal with the hard normal summon of Droll and Lockbird, which gets linked off into the Almirage, which triggers the Pyrex Seed in hand to summon another one. We then look to overlay into the Allen version and detach the 2 for cost to go ahead and add the diameter. Here now we go ahead and add backup, summon backup, which adds wizard and ditches the diameter. Now, don't ask me why I activate the Allen version to bring itself back at this point, not even sure why, but we link and splash, then we activate the wizard to bring back the backup, we then synchro summon, we get the transcode, we get the heat soul, we search for the AI spell and we pay 1,000 to draw a card. From here we activate the AI spell, showing the backup to special summon it, and we go ahead and add circular. Circular activates, ditching the Sigma. However, now because I've already used the Allen version to bring back the diameter, I have no way to trigger the circular search effect. So that was a bit of a misplay there. That should have waited to this point, because then I'd have super factorial as well. So here now we just overlay into the Light Dragon at Ignister, because there's no point getting them into grave, and we go ahead and we summon the allied code to bring back the heat soul, the transcode and the saber, and we pass turn on that. So Matt starts off his turn, we do go ahead and hit that roll just to get it through, hoping that would be enough to slow him down a little bit. Now Matt still manages to do some nice things here, and I choose not to apply the allied negate on any of these cards as of yet, because it does negate and then banish, which would obviously then trigger the malice cards. So I decided to wait until there is an effect trying to summon back from the banishment, as I felt that would be the most impactful that could be. Now whether that was right or wrong, I don't know, but in my head at the time, it made the most sense. However, Splash Mage comes down, would have been nice to negate that, but then would he have gone into that if he already had the 3 bodies? Who knows? But from here, he's able to then activate his own wizard. He's climbing through. There's the red ransom as well, which is now sent to grave to get the access code. Now, I am wondering if the Light Dragon counts as an activated effect, because it doesn't state activate. It just basically says if a monster will be destroyed by destruction, you can detach material from this card. I guess that's kind of like a trigger activated effect. but I'm not sure if it was like a passive effect, like it just does it. So Matt gives it a quick Google for me just to find out, because at the end of the day we want to play correctly, and the answer is solid no, but it doesn't matter because he banishes the red ransom just to pop it anyway, and the red ransom then triggers to bring itself back. He still has a wizard in defense, and we just go over what my monster's attacks are and what they're currently doing / protecting and all that jazz. He then goes ahead, gets the white binder, sets a trap, and from here I believe he starts punching, but I could be wrong. So again, I'm just re-clarifying the attacks of all of our monsters. The Bestial does come down. He was looking to banish one of his, but just decides just to get rid of my Sigma instead, just to stop that from recurring. So Bestial does drop, and then the transcode gets hit, and then which does weaken the allied, but the allied is on 3-3 at this point, but still the 5-3 access code is enough, and then the Bestial is enough just to punch over that transcode. Now, as you can see, I haven't got an all lot left, and Matt does take that game. So game 2 went pretty much the same way as game 1, just only a lot quicker, and honestly that's kind of how I expected round 2 to have gone. Mathmech against Malice, we do overlay on some of the same extenders such as the Ignister package, and of course we same with the extenders of the extra deck, like Splash Mage, and even boss monsters like a Light Kotoka. So the only difference is that Malice is a much stronger deck than what Mathmech is, so I wasn't expecting to win round 2, so the fact that I did was great. Admittedly, that was with that asterisk of Matt not taking that time to think his turn through. But with that being said, yet again, I got to play against Matt, so I couldn't be happier. We ended the day 2-2, which, you know, one was a bye, but a win is a win. So we got 2 prize packs plus our OTS, and that actually put us in 5th place with Mathmech. Now that was a great result for something I put together. And honestly, I haven't really used or picked up in 2 to 3 years since Circular was initially banished. Has it really been 2 to 3 years since Circular was banished? Banned? I suppose it's a type of banishment, but still, I'm really looking forward to seeing what else we can do with this deck, especially with the Ignister cards that I have ordered, just to kind of turn it into more of a Cyverse pile. So I'm really excited for that. We are definitely looking forward to next week's locals. That being said, like I said, we did have 2 prize packs, and we pulled these 2 beautiful cards, both of which currently selling on eBay for £7 to £8 each. This I expect will rise in price at some point. I could be wrong on that, but I'm going to keep hold of it, because at the end of the day, if it does go up, great, I'll sell it at that point. If it doesn't, if it stays where it is, or even if it drops in price, what have I lost? I got it for free for entry, and obviously the White Forest field spell. The 2 White Forest players I'm aware of at locals doesn't need it, so this will be going up on eBay just to try and cover the prices. But the fact that they're both £7 to £8 cards and entry £7, and my money. So not only did I have a great time with friends, enjoying ourselves and learning more about this game that we all love, but I essentially doubled my money doing so. So that's such a net positive win all around, and honestly, I'm so looking forward to next week. But with that being said, there are some changes coming to this channel. I'm going to be trying to incorporate more daily life parts into this vlog, as you saw at the beginning with Evie. That's why, again, my office setup has been moved into the kitchen. I need to do something about the window light because that is bright. We don't currently have a blind or anything on that, so maybe that's something I can invest in to make these videos better. But yeah, so I want to record more of the preparing for locals, such as the deck building, the deck testing, when Isaac's here, when Ryan's here, or when Corey is here. Same with you know, if the Friday nights at Matt's start up again, you know, if it's okay with Matt, getting some B-roll footage of that. And I want to incorporate more of the daily life things. So I am actually thinking of rebranding the channel, because something that did get pointed out to me, which I don't know why it never crossed my mind.
But if you look at my YouTube name and my YouTube profile picture, nothing of that screams Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, Mystic Frost 86 is just a generic name. It's a username I've used in games for 10 plus years. As for the profile picture, it's just a really cool picture that I saw and liked, and we spoke to the artist and they were happy for me to use it. So maybe it's time we do rebrand to more Yu-Gi-Oh! Centric naming and profile picture. That being said, we'll see. But definitely I will see you next week, so until then, take care of yourselves. Peace and love.